before he was kicked out. But he has stayed the course. He has stayed with us in the opposition, and he has the man who would march into hell if necessary for a heavenly cause, as Elvis Presley once sang. And I'm proud to call him my friend. Congratulations, JB. Asante sana, Mungu akubariki.
Allow me once again, thank you very much, Honorable Eugene Wamalwa. Allow me, my sister, the former Cabinet Secretary for Water, Public Service, Agriculture as well, the Honorable Cicely Kanini Kariuki. Thank you very much, my sister. I recall attending at your function at the lodge of your book. Was it last year or in this same grounds? Thank you very much for coming as well. Actually, at the time, Eugene, I was sitting in the National Security Council. And His Excellency, the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, is my witness that council had never discussed anything to do with the issues of extrajudicial killings, abductions, and forced disappearances. As the Attorney General, he's an automatic member of the National Security Council. Indeed, at that occasion, at the United Nations Human Rights Conference held at Gigiri, Nairobi, representing the government of Kenya, and specifically the President of the Republic, made a commitment to the world that issues of enforced disappearances would never in the year 2023, July. So sometimes, when you work with that, with some of these commitments that you have made to the entire world, and then suddenly you start hearing certain things happening, you really get disturbed. Thank you very much for reminding us about that incident. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sure many of you may be waiting to listen, to hear the truthful man. Sindio? Tunataka kusikia the truthful man. Because I want to confirm here. Because some people have said it, some people who have been employed by Kasongo. Oh, this guy, what he says, what? I want to confirm. The only person as cabinet secretaries and members of cabinet would run to. Because as deputy president, he chairs all cabinet committee meetings. I just want to confirm to the whole world, for instance, his vehement opposition to the 2024 finance bill. I'm not sijakuja kupigia Rigiji Ndebe, but it is to confirm, because I've had some people ask him questions, even on interview. Oh, ulifanya nini? He opposed the finance bill when he was chairing the cabinet committee. And from the cabinet committee, he said, he undertook that when we go to full cabinet, he is going to be the first one to tell the president, this thing is bad. And that's exactly what he did. to confirm, because sometimes people think, oh, hii maneno hapana, ilikuwa kweli. It is the truth. And even those who are there, by the way, I extended the invitation for this launch to all the sitting cabinet secretaries. I'm sure some of them, whom I've named in the book, when you read, you'll see. Some of them, of course, in fact, some are in Embu. They are in my village, Lene, today. But the shocking thing, Eugene, was they finished, and we have also told people, since what you are being given is actually your own money, which is being siphoned out, and actually, as the G has severally told Kenyans, itisha, wakija, itisha. Sasa what happened today, they went and gave the women only 200 shillings, and we had told the women it must be 1,000. So they say, no, you have a balance of 800, which they didn't give, and as a result, there was only one choir, one term. That was right in our village where Lenny and I come from. It is, these are some of the things that sometimes when you listen to what is happening, well, I don't want to say much. Let me invite to the podium the truthful man, His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, the second Deputy President.
Asanteni sana. The man of the moment, AG Speaker Emeritus, the Honorable Justin Bidan Muturi, Your Excellency Kalonzo Musyoka, and all dignitaries present. Mine is just to say congratulations to JB for the great book that he has put together, The Fight for Order. And JB, my brother, my kinsman, as a student of literature, let me confirm that is a great art. And in literature, you evaluate content and form. At the University of Nairobi in the 80s, there were two schools of thought on what defines a great work of art. One group led by the late Professor Chris Wanjara believed that a good work of art is content, what you say. Another group led by Professor Henry Dangasi believed that a good work of art is the form, how you say it. Reading this great book, I want to confirm that it is splendid in both content and form. You have told a good story, and you have told it well. JB Muturi, my brother, is a great friend of mine. We have come from far. We were trying to make Uhuru Kenyatta president in the year 2002, together with Murathe. Those days, I used to take Uji Murathe. I quit the club. I'm still told you are taking Uji Endelea. We proceeded until we made Uhuru Kenyatta president in 2013, and he became speaker. I joined him as a member of parliament in the 12th parliament, and we've been very close. Then we looked for government together. We were in the same cabinet. What JB has written here, especially the latter part, is true. And in the cabinet we served under Githinji, JB and I were the only true. When I left, he was left as the only one who is honest. When he left, there is nobody in that cabinet who is truthful. The rest are flower girls and yes sir. And this is a good story, and these stories must be told. I will be telling mine, but not now, I'm too busy. I have some work to do. But I'll be doing a good work on the route of betrayal as we go on. It's good to tell this story because JB tried to bring order to government like he had brought in parliament. And JB was a good speaker. Despite the fact that he came from TNA, he never became a youth winger for Uhuru Kenyatta. JB and Kenneth Marede were two great speakers. It's unfortunate the speaker we have today is a youth winger. You find him in empowerment forums giving people maharagwe. And for that, JB, we salute you. You created order in parliament. You tried to create order in government and you got in trouble, like myself. That's why we are out with you in the trenches. Because you tried to create order. Let me confirm to the people of Kenya that JB Muturi as Attorney General saved this country billions of shillings by refusing to sign shady deals that were laced with conflict of interest and state capture. I remember when one day he was in Dubai and William Ruto called me very annoyed and very angry and full of abuse, abusing JB Muturi in all manner of abuses. Wewe Regiji, tafuta hiyo mtu yako ya bere, hiyo mjinga. Bure as Attorney General. Tell him, nitafuta ye kazi. I'm telling him to do things he cannot do. Tafuta ye, si mtu ya kabila yako. Huyu Ruto anasema hataki ukabila. Tafuta ye and tell him to sign those things. Hey, I called JB. Hey, AG, where? Boss is burning. He is all over. Kwani umefanya nini? What have you done, my brother? You are in trouble. He said I was coming. I'm at the airport, and the boss has called me. I met some business people there and signed a contract on the runway. I said I can't. I need to look at the document, give it to people at the chambers, interrogate, and advise government whether it's in order or not. I cannot sign. So I called the president. I said, no. Boss, what you're asking JB to do is wrong. He's on transit. And he's being given documents by people he doesn't even know to put his signature as Attorney General that it is right. And he stood his ground. He was trying to call government to order. I remember for a conference for cabinet secretaries and principal secretaries. And William Ruto called me to his room again and abused me and my community because of JB Muturi. Hii mtu yako ya bere, bure. Ebu muite hapo mwambie hiyo vitu nimwambie afanye. And he should not tell me anything. I'm the president. I am not a lawyer, but I'm the president. What I want must be done in this country. Can you look for him and you get back here uniambie? So nikatafuta JB, nikaita yeye kwa room yangu. JB, again wewe, you have robbed my boss the wrong way. What's the problem? JB said he is asking me to sign a deal to buy land with the funds from the Settlement Trust Fund T for putting up an industrial park. This fund, by law, you can only buy land to settle schools, to settle Kenyans who are landless. You cannot use it to buy land for any other purpose. I cannot do it as Attorney General. Please tell him I will not do it. So I went back to him, I said, it cannot be done. And he has explained to me, and I agree 100%. So when JB Muturi says we need to call the country to order, he has lived those words. And he was my soulmate in cabinet. Because he was only the truthful person who is fearless. One day, when they are in cabinet committees, the president had tasked his tribesmen there in cabinet to keep him informed on the deliberations in cabinet committee by text. So if the direction a debate is not going his way, especially in issues he is conflicted, he would send you a text and tell you how to take the conversation. So JB looked for me and we agreed what to do. Himself and myself, we will leave our phones away so Ruto cannot reach us. By the time he has been told what he wanted is not going the right way, to a petition. And he has told you, I would say, I rose finance bill, everybody. Oh, Muturi, I said, boss, this thing cannot be accepted by the people of Kenya, and we'll have an egg on our face. Kenyans will not take this finance bill. He took me to task. I said, no. I told the Secretary to Cabinet, Masi Wajau, put it on record for posterity. I have said, no, it will not work. So when it did not work, we went to Cabinet. I wanted to revisit the matter, Kakata. I said, boss, can we go back to what I had said? After the agencies brought a problem. The worst, of course, is when JB's child was abducted by the National Intelligence Service. And he called me, William Ruto was out of town, and said, Deputy President, my son has been abducted, taking me in circles. This is not acceptable. And for your information, if your child is missing and is suspected to be in the hands of the police or security agencies, you go to court and file what you call a habeas corpus, compelling the Attorney General to produce the person, dead or alive. So JB Muturi asked me, as Justin Muturi, if I file a habeas corpus against the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, whom will it be served upon? So I called Kindiki, Mr. Yesa, he took me in circles. He was in Interior. I could see he's lying. He knows, but pretending he doesn't know. I called Nurdin Haji, he took me in circles. I called Mohammed Amin, Director of CID, he took me in circles. I called Japheth Kome, he was the IG, he was talking to me in Kemeru. And they were all taking me in circles. And I called William Ruto, he was out of town. I said, Mr. President, Your Excellency, we have a problem in our hands. The son of your Attorney General has been abducted. He sits in the National Security Council. He is here with me asking why anybody would abduct his son. And he sits in the National Security Council. He is a principal legal advisor to the government. If anybody had a problem with his son, it's just asking Meji, can your son turn up here? I say, this is not right. Wewe Rigiji wacha fitina bana. Wewe umenisumbua. Kila siku unanipigia simu fitina. Abducted by who? In which country? Wewe bana usinisumbue. Usilete mimi fitina. He's put on the phone. So I told JB, go and face him. He knows where your son is. I've listened to him, I know him. And JB took my advice and I alerted him. I told him I will alert you when he arrives. The minute I was told he is 10 minutes away, the choppers were alerting, I said, be at the gate. He went and faced him head on as a man. And JB Pongezi, that's the way to be a man. And within 2 hours, his son was at home. This is what we need for this country. Most people are cowards. JB, you didn't want to waste time inviting CSs. They cannot come here. They are cowards. They don't want to be associated with you because of what you say. And let me say finally, JB is a good man. He was my boss in Parliament as Speaker. I was a first-time MP. 5 years down the line, I became his boss as Deputy President. He respected me in my new position. All the other MPs we came with from Parliament had nothing but disrespect and distaste for my new position. But this man here said, God has given you this opportunity, we must respect authority. So we developed a very tight relationship. And I had to pay him back one day in kind. And it's good, I tell you. After the Gen Z protests, the cabinet was dissolved. And William Ruto was struggling on what to do, bring Raila and his people in, this, that, and we let him do what he wanted to do without too much argument. And he announced the first batch, and out of the positions I had negotiated for my counties where I come from, he did not appoint anybody from Embu. And I asked him why. He said, let's wait kidogo. So, appointment, the final one. He called me and Musalia so that we flank him to announce the last batch of cabinet. And he was in a hurry. Let's go. I said, hey, what do you mean we go? How? How do we flank you to announce what we don't know? No, wewe Rigiji wacha maneno mingi. Musalia, let's go. I said, no, I can't. I cannot flank you to announce cabinet when I don't know who you're announcing. I cannot hear it for the first time with the rest of Kenyans and the press. So he was very angry. Then he rushed to his office. Oh, Musalia, my God. He was shaking like a leaf. Oh, Mwami, how can you challenge the president? How? Please, this is not right. I say, Musalia, my friend, do you know this announcement, your name could be missing in that paper? The only person who will save is myself because I'm elected. So mimi hata nakusaidia. So he went and brought the list and threw it at me. I looked at it and found that JB had been dropped from Embu and he had put somebody else. And then I asked him, who is this? I don't know him. You have not consulted me. We had an agreement. Who is this? Oh, is somebody says Barida brought. I said, no. I cannot be party to that decision. Because the other time, you appointed somebody from Meru. I did not argue with you. The people of Meru were asking me, who is this? I don't know. Where is this home? I have no idea. This person I don't know. So if that is your choice, go ahead and announce. I cannot accompany you to make that announcement. He said, wewe Rigathi. Hii ukabila yako itakufikisha wapi? I said, Mr. President, I am not party to that decision. How do I accompany you to announce something I'm not part of? And the people of Embu will be asking me, who is this? But if I'm not, toa hiyo mtu weka hiyo JB yako hapo. This JB, you are crazy about this JB. I said, but Mr. President, this is a good man. And I chair the cabinet committee. This is a solid minister. All the other people you are putting and you have returned, most of them are useless. I sit there and I have listened to this man. And he means well for this country. So why do you want to remove him? What is it that he has done? So he said, chukua. Mimi nikachukua kalamu, nikafuta hiyo mtu na kalamu ya wino, nikaweka Honorable JB Muturi. Nikamrudishia. But then I told him, because I know you, if we go there and you announce the other name because I think that is what you want to do, I'll walk away when the press is live. So that's how JB Muturi got his job back. And after that, I was thrown away and he followed me. I'm sorry I was not there to defend you another time. So I want to say, as we celebrate JB, this country is blessed with a great leader, a steadfast man, a great man. You have been told to put order into this table. If the formula of nominating a single presidential candidate favors me, and I'm elected as president, you play a very important role in my government. And for having been kind to me, when you asked me to step down my candidate with Senator Lene Kivuti, our senior elder, you know, in our community, we have seniority of elders. If Lene Kivuti summons me, I'm a junior elder in my community. I just have to honor. So when Lene Kivuti and JB Muturi summoned me and said, as Bere people, we have decided that you step down your candidate in favor of Newton Karis, I agreed with the two community because that is the way things should be run. So JB Muturi, please take us to Bere with Senator Kivuti, and Congo has put 300 million shillings so far in that by-election. Senator Lene Kivuti, you must lead us there to rubbish that money in 6 hours. And in Bere North is where William Ruto must be taught how to put communities to order. And JB Muturi, mi nakutakia mema. I'm sorry I've taken a little bit longer, but I wanted to tell you about this man. And where we are as a country, we need such people. JB Muturi and myself could. The leader of that government is a pathological liar. I have actually serious doubt whether his real name is William Ruto. We are just too honest and too truthful. And for those we have joined hearts together, Stephen Kalonzo Musyoka, Fred Matiang'i, Eugene Wamalwa, Martha Karua, will be very truthful to you. And always take it well, because we mean well for this country. And for you yourself, but to the people of Kenya. Asanteni sana na shukuru sana.
You've heard it all from the truth of man. Si ni kweli? Tumemsikia. Before we go on, let me also recognize the presence of the African Legislative Assembly, the Honorable James Madenge, aka Kanini Kaseo. He was with me in the 11th and 12th Parliament. Thank you very much, brother, for coming. Let me also take this opportunity to announce that although I'd invited my sister, the Honorable Mother Wangari Karua, she is unable to be with us. She's traveling tonight to Germany, but she had indicated that the Secretary General of our party, Madam Asha Bashir, attend, and I can see when she was called, she had not arrived. Asha, maybe you could come and just say a word, because it is indeed true that Mother and indicated to me that you would come and represent your party and her. Please, come ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. My name is Asha Bashir. I'm humbled to be here on behalf of the Honorable Martha Karua, who left last night for Berlin. She gives her salutations to JB. She tells me, I tell you, that she has worked with you from June to tell you that this great book should be an inspiration to millions of Kenyans, and especially the young people of this country, to learn that with resilience and patience you learn. JB started from the corridors of justice as a magistrate, but he never decided to do things in a hurry. He decided to take each step and walk through the journey with sheer hard work, and above all with honesty and integrity. So the Honorable Martha Karua says today, let us learn and emulate JB and serve in whatever capacity, not out of greed, but out of conviction that the country and the world deserves a better place. To thank my chairman at the commission and to wish him all the best. I can't wait also to read this book. As a young person, we will learn from you. So thank you so much and have a lovely evening.
Thank you very much, Asha. MC, you want to changamsha kidogo?
Asante sana. Mheshimiwa, thank you so much. And to our excellencies who've spoken and wengine wengi. Bana Mazembe kidogo tu, tuchangamke kidogo tu, and then we'll go to the final session of our speeches today. Asante sana. Thank you, Mheshimiwa. Asante.
Mapenzi ya kwetu haitangari yako mama. Mapenzi ya kwetu haitangari yako mama. Tabia yako na yangu halisikilizanie. Yako na yangu walisikilizanie. Ona sasa we mama. Ona sasa we mama.
Honorable Eugene Wamalwa, my brother Dr. Fred Matiang'i, both current and former, friends, government officials that may be present, colleagues, friends of friends. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to have you all here today for the launch of my book, The Fight for Honor. It's a good thing to have a friend and to share in the celebration of this milestone. Let me say, I'm happy I've told my story as candidly as I could. I hope you will enjoy reading it, and that it will inspire you to help me in my mission of building honest institutions in Kenya. Thank you for making the time. And as I said earlier, this being a Friday, I'm sure you'd rather be somewhere else, probably partaking of tea or uji or many other broths. As my good friend, the former president, who has written the foreword in this book, these days often refers to some of the people take on Friday evenings. This launch is also a milestone for political leadership and political memory making in Kenya. This generation, an intellectual grounding on how to do things and how not to do things. I appreciate each and every one who has bought the book, and special thanks to those who have bought more than one copy for donations to your community libraries, your organizational players, the researchers, the think tanks. Thank you very much. You bought the book. What feedback you have for me? This will not put me in a better position to improve in any future editions. So please don't be shy in your reviews. You already had Senator Lene Kifuti challenging me to proceed to begin doing another one. When this book came out, a lot of people, especially those from the political class, were very, very afraid. They thought when you are the Attorney General, you know very, very many secrets. I can tell you without fear of any contradiction that the stories I've written about my time in Parliament, my time in the Cabinet, and my time at the State Law Office are things that all happened. There's quite a lot that I didn't put in the book also. There is only so much one can say in a book that is about 450 pages. This book is really a moment of personal reflection about my time in this important office. To my friends from campus, normally call ourselves the class of 81, I know you remember that day when we met in 2021 at my place. We sat, we broke bread, we ate some nyama choma, had a lot of uji and tea, and danced. And I also told you that I was writing a book. Here it is now. It's taken some time, and it's quite a lot of work turning rough thoughts into readable book. That's so far as the promise of being a good seller. There are many themes in the book, but there are five ones that I would like to speak about. In the first chapter, I talk about my upbringing. It's just a reminder that in my life, those early formative years shaped who I became. People who help you turn out the way you are, and those people are unforgettable. I speak about my high school head teacher. I speak also about my primary school teacher, one Mr. Lincoln Jero, who taught us the power of handwriting and how to write well, how to write legibly. That has stuck with me. And although it's many years now, I may not claim to write as legibly as I used to do those years. I also write about people who taught me values and how not to take shortcuts. Yes, I gambled in high school. I fought with teachers to run plays. I was not a model student in that sense. And I think that is why I learned my lessons at Kangaroo School. Next, I tell the story of the university years. I never at university imagined I would turn out to be a politician, a speaker, as it did. I even wanted to be the president of Kenya just the other day. And here I am telling you about it. Indeed, the party I lead, the Democratic Party, has in its constitution that the party leader is always, invariably, the presidential candidate of the party in any general election, unless a party enters into a coalition agreement with other parties. I moved around the country, understanding the law, saying how justice is done and not done in some instances. These days, I see lawyers complaining about delayed cases and judges complaining that they are overwhelmed. And in my days as a magistrate, I would get to the office very early and make sure that I did not have much on my entry. And even new lawyers reduce the games that you play on people to delay cases whenever you appear before me. The weaknesses in the criminal justice system are well documented, but we can expedite the delivery of justice and make this country indeed and truly a country of the rule of law. It is doable. We probably need to look at our work ethics as people serving Kenyans. Kenyans need speedy justice. Can you imagine somebody fighting a case for 20 plus years or even 30 years? And this is not a story. There's a case I dealt with that stuck in the courts for years after I left. I'm not even too sure that it has ever been resolved to date. I also write about leadership culture in Kenya. The lowest point in my career was the frame-ups when I was in the judiciary. I write all about it. And I learned that in leadership and in politics, the backstabbing never stops. In the judiciary, in politics, dealing with KANU, Jubilee, and even now, Kenya Kwanza. It was constant backstabbing. Indeed, the Honorable Rigathi Gachagua has just alluded to some of those instances. Fitina mingi. A lot of snakes, hypocrites. Yes, you know them. Help more colleagues can tell their stories. It'll be amazing about what I talk about hypocrisy, backstabbing, hypocrites all over, conmen, fitina mingi. I also write about the legislature, the legislative politics, and the Parliament of Kenya. The Honorable Amin Abdallah alluded to this. As the first speaker under the 2010 Constitution, setting up all those structures, you learn a lot about change management. I called the Supremacy Wars, the Senate versus the National Assembly. Some people think that the fights were personal. No. The issues we were fighting about, like the division of revenue laws, are still there. I say in the book, unless the Constitution to better define the roles of the two houses with regard to the budget-making process, the fights will continue regardless of the many advisory opinions that may come from the Supreme Court. Constituency Development Fund, now called the National Government Constituency Development Fund. I say it in the book that this fund needs to go. Members of Parliament here present, please don't start throwing stones at me. I'm just saying what I believe in. I've given reasons. With the devolution, we need to get serious. I don't like it when I see many of my governor friends going to State House to, in quotes, beg for development, close the quotes. Look at the Constitution. You need to negotiate your pound of fresh. When you sit in the summit, chaired by the president, and at the IBEC, those are the forums that we have to discuss and debate issues about what resources need to go to the counties. Don't come to Nairobi to beg the president for development. The more you beg, the more you are entrenched in an imperial presidency. And that we must appreciate has been done away with in our 2010 constitution. So governors, please stop this habit. You are taking the country back to the era beyond 2010. One of the many, of course, many of you will buy this book because I write boldly about my time as Attorney General and as a Cabinet Secretary. I know some of you are waiting to hear the stories I've told about the current administration of William Ruto. Well, these days he has many names: Kasongo, Kaongo, Githinji, et al. Many names. It is one of the worst decisions I made working with William Ruto. I thought I could infuse change from within, but I realized that the fish rots from the head. My friends in Tanzania say, siku zote ng'ombe anayechelewesha msafara ni ng'ombe aliye mbele, lakini ule ng'ombe anapigwa ni ule yuko nyuma na ndiye huwa anapiga kelele. If this country is to progress, we need to deal with the leadership at the top. We keep saying one term, and we mean it. This isn't personal, but objectively speaking, for a person who talks a big game but does the opposite, it is really disheartening. There's a saying, a quote, "Who are worse than murderers and pretenders?" There's also something about hypocrites. And I must warn you about manufacturing crises. Every time you see our president manufacturing a crisis, just know he wants to eat. Just this week, we heard him talking about power rationing when the bulk of electricity is geothermal, or rebuilding the airport. You must have noticed that he's even costed the airport to the tune of 200 billion. Never mind, he was speaking in a foreign land, never accompanied by any engineer, any architect, any QS to give him these figures. He merely jumped at the figure of 200 billion. He would assign a value to a project just from thin air. I talk about this through the Kedong Ranch. The Honorable Rigathi Gachagua has just alluded to it. And the multi-billion tender, which I refuse to sign when they try and cornering me at the airport in Dubai. You do not, on one hand, collect hundreds of billions of shillings and then make the government borrow its own money. And then you go to international fora and complain. Indeed, it reminds me of the remarks by many years ago by the late Fidel Castro, who was saying that history will absorb me. There are also moments when he manifestly flouted the law, and I told him as much. The English say, You cannot lie down with dogs and not come up with fleas. I just want to say that might be true because I have my scars. And lastly, I have to alert you, you do not import mercenaries to conduct human rights abuses in your country or subcontract reprisals to foreign countries or gaslight your own people for calling you out. You do not run an abduction squad in your own country. These are things we need to deal with. Finally, I explore my drama, my dreams. What future do we want? What future do you want for your children? Do you want to see them despondent, being killed in the streets, being abducted in broad daylight, being gaslit for fighting for their rights? When I worked with this government, I thought we were issue-based. But now, tribalism and corruption is on the up. I believe in the rule of law and a government that has respect and treats Kenyans with dignity. If I keep talking, I'll be reading the book for you. I don't want to spoil it for you. Read it. Make up your own mind about the book, the content, and about me. And then decide what you can do about it. I hope you come to the conclusion which my good friend Honorable Wamalwa has said, one term. That we need to chart a new path and a new direction in this country. You read it, enjoy it, and I hope you buy some copies for your other friends and also for libraries in your locations. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening to me. And I conclude by that I am extremely happy that our good friends from the Frederick Newman Foundation, Judy Kaberia, is also with us. I know at the foundation they do a lot of governance. Several other foundations do. Thank you, Judy, for standing with us. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for having to read this because I wanted to make sure that I make every point that I intended to make. With those many remarks, it's now my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome on stage sorry, I'm also told that my very good friend, other very good friends as well, have arrived. The Honorable James Gakuya, the member for Embakasi North. Karibu sana, my brother. And my young son, the Honorable Gitonga Mokonji, the member of parliament for Manyata in Embu. Huyu ni kijana yangu. Thank you very much, Mokonji, for gracing this occasion. Asante sana. And I hope I have not forgotten to recognize. Is that Judy? And also somebody I work with at the People's Restorative Justice Commission, Professor Friend Ogola. He just arrived from the US where he took his presidential campaigns. Karibu sana, Professor. Thank you. I know you just arrived this afternoon. Also, let me recognize the presence of Judy Sijeni, Ambassador. Wakili Eunice Lumalas. I've been able to recognize each and every other. But anyhow, my good friend Ole Kenta is here. Wacha tusikize our chief guest, His Excellency Dr. Stephen Kalonzo wa Musyoka is our chief guest at this launch. You will make the final remarks.
Thank you. Thank you. A very good evening, ladies and gentlemen, my brothers, Rigi G, the second deputy president. The German name I skip purposely. Our brother Fred Matiang'i, and all of you distinguished friends. You see now, Fred, you introduced some people you came with, or they brought themselves from Jubilee. And because you did that, I received a request, now recognized patriotic front leaders who are here. And I think it is inappropriate because some of them have already been moment. But be that as it may, I think I saw some people are with me in Kisumu, in Jaramogi something, right? Kago Jaramogi. I saw Mukunji there with me and Cicely, and even those ambassadors, are they Sijeni, and I think Lumalas was there. Ndegwa Njiru was there. Did I see Ndegwa Njiru? He was there. Ben Momanyi, I saw you. Ben Momanyi was there. Mwana Mule. Who else am I forgetting? Please just stand so I can. So you don't take. Senator Manzo, you are not there. But he should have been there. I think he thought he should have been there, and others. So. I'm not able to see who is right at the back. Or is it Wakili Boniface? No. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to do a simple thing, and that is to launch this book. I asked myself, JB, why did you make me the chief guest? Is it because you thought I should buy very many books tonight? And to give out there, or is it because I may have written an autobiography for myself, and the title of which is Against All Odds, and which is due for revision? Or is it because I'm older than you? I think it's because of the latter. That I realize this guy is neighborhood. I don't know why Brother Rigiji claims Muturi for his own kinsmanship. Because if you listen to JB speak Kikamba, he speaks without an accent. Even the way he pronounced my name before he came here, that's not the normal way you pronounce my name, because he is fluent. And then his home is near Ishara. From Kanyambora, where Lenny and him come from, to Sekuru is actually just less than maybe 30 kilometers. Now from there to Rigiji's place is very far. But I heard Rigiji make some very interesting distinction, that him is a brother and I'm a cousin. That imagine Lenny and JB is brothers, but I am Rigiji's cousin. But we all felt that anybody who is feeling the weight of misrule, over taxation, is actually a cousin. I think that is why JB asked me to come and really nail it for him. JB, you're a very frank person. And allow me to tell you that Uhuru Kenyatta should have been here. But as you asked me to mention that he will not make it, I remember when we are reviewing the possibility of coming tonight, you told me you suspect if Uhuru Kenyatta had read the book completely, he may not have signed the foreword. But I think he did. And he makes some wonderful remarks about who you are. When I saw Fred Matiang'i, I asked him, have you read the book? Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually now marketing this book for you. My brother, my younger brother, JB, as we call you. Because out there, we are here launching a book written by a stickler, not only for the rule of law, but one who believes in the separation of powers. He has lived, he has served in both the executive, the legislature, and the judiciary. One of our foremost statesmen, I dare say without any hesitation, and one who is also fearless. Even as we sat there with JB, I told him, do you remember this friend? The country is all over the place, and he's trying to tell JB and I to mention that somebody at the very high level is already received a $10 million bribe to bring in rice from Pakistan or wherever. That is JB Muturi. And so I feel truly honored to associate myself with you, and also a party leader of Democratic Party. The founding Kiongozi, as you all know, was a gentleman I was privileged to serve under as his vice president. Not that he appointed me, but I negotiated. No, I learned a lesson in life. And it's somebody, when we went, a lot of you may not know, I was also deputy speaker one time. 92. And then I went for an IPU conference, somewhere I think in Togo. And we wanted the late Joseph Muliro. How many of you remember Joseph Muliro? He was assistant minister one time for foreign affairs. And we wanted him to join the 9-member committee of parliamentarians from all over the world dealing with matters to do with climate change. And so we had some formidable challenges from that region, some of them claiming authority of their speakers. And I coined a phrase. I said, in business, you don't get what you deserve. That is generally said. You get what you negotiate. So I learned that, and with President Kibaki, we negotiated by being 10th vice president. But that is part of the history. But I also learned another useful tactic. And I think that is what this Kenya Kwanza administration has been applying. And that was that in order to get Joe Muliro appointed as a member of the IPU Committee of Parliamentarians on Climate Change, we realized that our competitors had no time for us, and so they didn't care about the qualities, the qualifications of Joe Muliro. So I said, as the leader of delegation, because as deputy speaker, we'll apply the following formulation. If you cannot really dazzle them with brilliance, then baffle them with bullshit. There's a lot of bullshitting around. And because that is what really is holding this country at ransom. And it's all written and elaborated under this wonderful, wonderful work of art, as Rigiji put it. First of all, JB is summoned by J. Muturi, who wants a meeting of the Speaker of the National Assembly, the 11th edition, and calls him and say, JB, can you come to State House tomorrow? He didn't say, he said, what time, Mr. President? Then he says, you contact Jay, you'll arrange the logistics. Speaker of the National Assembly. And whom does he find? He finds Fred Matiang'i, Interior. And he also finds Kibicho, Karanja Kibicho, the PS. It's all there, Fred. That's why I said, if you read it, you have to really know that we are dealing with a very honest person in the tradition of the truthful man. And he says it there. He says he told President Uhuru Kenyatta, you cannot do this. I am the Speaker of Parliament. There is a principle of separation of powers. And he called Kibicho and Fred some very nice names there. Because he was angry with what he thought was an aggression on the principle of separation of powers. He does the same, and of course others also at the time in the book, if you read, where, for example, you see, we are making him look like a wonderful person, but the human being in JB had to face the role of Mr. Njeru. Now, in that we share. When I was in Meru School in Form 5, I became the Director of Education. And one time and I think that's why I sharpened my negotiation skills at Form 6, because we went on strike, and Mr. Njeru said, the Form 6, in all one accord, have decided to fail. We actually turned out that time in Meru School, the class of 1973, as number 4 in the country, because we are refusing to eat stuff we are calling fufu. But we had given Mr. Njeru a nickname of Mr. Amin. We call him Mid Amin because the way he used to walk, and he was, students always deal with their head teachers. Now, Mr. JB's Njeru accused him of and pinching them. I don't know, JB, in your years at the university, or before you went to university, if that was your characteristic. These days it can constitute a very serious offense, for which men actually get impeached, not in Kenya, in other places of the world. So he lays it bare, including the role he had with his Mbere clansman who spoke here, Lenny Kivuti. Serious rivalry at their level. One region or whatever, he had actually also changed his name. Read that book. It's an amazing work of art. But he actually then says there, I will not sign it. That was JB. It is out there. And they say, release my son. We have seen the story. So JB, when you write your next book, and I want to agree with my brother Rigiji, let us go through this season, because it's a very, very important season. And when, God willing, we get to Canaan, you will then have time to read to write a wonderful thing. I want to read a book written by Rigiji, because he has written a very nice chapter already. He has seen it all. He paid his brother in kind. I don't know how many deputy presidents world over would be able to stand up and get a president to go down. We are a government, or a country that believes in the rule of law and democracy, then we have to be like Rigiji. I just come from Luo Nyanza. And please don't ask me where I got the 100 cows from. That's my own secret. Some think I keep a lot of cows. It is true. In addition to growing green grams, we call them dengu, we also keep some cows. And we went out there, and I forgot to salute the champion of devolution, certainly a champion of democracy, the late Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. I just failed to salute because I was wearing Mukunju, remember? I was looking like you today. I really miss out just to salute him and to say the struggle continues, la luta continua. I wrote that in my remarks and bidding him farewell. But ladies and gentlemen, this is a country you all love. And this is a country we know falter. Then it is like what Shakespeare said, the rest of the voyage is really taken. If we don't take this high tide, then the rest of our lives will be lived in mystery. And the lives of Kenyans will not be exactly what J.B. Muturi would have wanted. By laying things bare, telling it as it is, and I can tell you none of that stuff is actionable. Nobody will sue you, because I think you took that into account. But you also put it openly. So I'm so honored to be able to look the fight, not just for democracy, the fight for order in our country. And of course, if you know, in the tradition of the British speakership, and I said, as many as of that opinion say aye, aye, as many as the contrary opinion say nay, the ayes have it, the ayes have it, unlock. Can be my classmate also, remember he was a deputy speaker in the Senate. That order for our country is really what is critical at this time. And I want to urge of all of us as we read this book to unlock our country, to realize that we cannot live in a country that believes in abducting his own children. And I think in one, he quotes that proverb, JB, in one of quoting that African proverb, when an hyena wants to eat his children, the hyena looks at them and says, "You smell like a goat." We must do whatever it takes. We do not have another time or anything to squander. We have a country literally to liberate and to live the spirit of the young Kenyans who have become a phenomenon world over. Who would have imagined that the very suave Tanzanians, Watanzania wanasema badala one of them is said to have come through Isabenian border up to Nakuru, akasema, and I must conclude, akasema kwa hoteli moja pale owned by a cousin ya Rigiji, akasema naomba chai. Akamwangalia, akasema, akampatia kikombe kimoja na siagi, mkate wa siagi. Tanzania suave, kapatiwa. Kamaliza, Mtanzania alikuwa na njaa kidogo, akasema that hotel, na kama sikiza bwana, hapa kuna cha bure hapa, kuomba uombaji ni kula hapa na kulipa, hakuna cha kuomba hapa. The suave Tanzanians thinking the Kenyan Gen Zs were from Mars. And you see, they even now, unfortunately, arrest Kenyans who are working ordinarily kwa mahoteli, and they think sasa hawa, they are part of, these are the people who have awakened. The Gen Zs everywhere have woken up because they are demanding transparency. Just I said it, put it so clearly, that they, not just in Tanzania, in Madagascar. Did you know, see Sheikh Hasina, the Prime Minister of Bangladesh, escape by helicopter to India because the Kenyan Gen Zs had said, I've actually said that example. Of course, recently in Nepal and other places. Times times that if we don't catch up with the aspirations of the young people who are demanding change and demanding it immediately, demanding transparency, the fight for order. Maybe, ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask us to grasp, to take hold of this moment and change our country for good forever. Thank you so much, JB. Congratulations. If I say the fight for order, I will add Joey. 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 Yeah, I know buffaloes. I'm a buffalo soldier. I hope if I do not ask for your forgiveness in the spirit of JB. Asanteni sana. So we're happy to launch this book, and please read it. And if you find it affects you, that is JB for you. So we're happy to have you. Can I now move? Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for His Excellency, the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka. Thank you so much. Let me invite you to the booth where we're going to be launching the book officially. May I also invite all the excellencies to come? Sorry. Sorry. Let's give the Excellency Rigathi Gachagua just a moment before we launch officially the book.
Kuna kitu moja nimesahau. Nickname ya JB Muturi, he is also called Anthony Njeru. Do I tell you how the name was arrived at? You heard me the other day crying at Thika Greens addressing lawyers about the quality of leaders from my region. You heard me cry and pleading with lawyers to save my community by electing leaders of high quality and integrity. So these men, we went for a function in Embu. A senator had been elected in Embu in his party. When he rose to speak, this man was an Attorney General. He who didn't know what is Attorney General, he said, Mr. Anthony Njeru. That is the kind of trouble me and my region are in.
Asante sana, Your Excellency. Thank you so much. A round of applause for Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua. May I invite our please, for the rest of us, please be seated because the photographers will. Your Excellencies, may I call you here? The chief guest, together with His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, Mheshimiwa Matiang'i, Mheshimiwa Eugene Wamalwa, Madam Asha, tafadhali njoo tafadhali. Mheshimiwa, just to guide you, ribbon, and the rest is automatic. But be careful, we'll have pirates. I'll give you 5 going down.
At the count of 5.
Going down.
We all count together. 5,
3, 2, 1, go. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Makofi. There you have it. The fight for order officially launched. Bwana Mazanga, tuendelee kidogo na muziki hapo DJ. Asante sana. Naomba